Hello New Zealand, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, this big new westerly change has arrived for the North Island, and the South Island's more in a sheltered period of weather at the moment. In fact, a localised southerly brought heavy snow into Mount Cook overnight, and we're going to see snow to lower levels around that 300-400 metre mark across the next 24 hours as a result of this sort of calmer wind flow down in the south with a slight southerly, but in the north you can clearly see the westerly change that is sweeping across the area, and it's also affecting Cook Strait and the upper South Island. Now we've got a fair bit of rain coming over the next few days with that westerly lean, and so therefore the totals in the west will be the highest. The areas in blue up around that 90 to 100 millimetre mark, so that really does affect parts of the west coast, Taranaki and in towards National Park. The areas you see in pink and purple, that's basically half that amount, so around that 45 to 50 millimetre mark. Still very good numbers around dry parts of the North Island and around Auckland and Waikato in that red and orange zone. That's 20 to 35 millimetres. And this weekend we get a low pressure system out to the east, so that encourages rain into the eastern side of the country. The areas in yellow around that 10 to 15 millimetre mark up around there, but other areas further south perhaps getting into that 30 millimetre mark. So a little bit of rain coming through as a result of that low coming in this weekend. We'll talk about that in a moment. But this is how Wednesday is shaping up. That westerly theme certainly dominates the North Island and some parts of the South Island, mostly the upper South Island. You've still got that localised southerly for the lower half of the island, so you'll still get snow falling around Queenstown, Arrowtown, Wanaka, Tekapo, those areas as we go through the day. Now there's also big swells, big waves coming in from the western side, so please do take extreme care if you're along that western coastline. I'm standing in front of the quay, so I have to stand off the map, but it is around about that 6, 7 and 8 metre mark out there. So those are big waves. Don't go fishing on the rocks around Auckland for the next couple of days. Let's have a look at Thursday. You can see the northwesterly wind comes back. So Thursday itself, not a bad day around most of the country. Rain returns to the west coast and some snow on the mountains, but almost everybody else has a drier and milder Thursday, but that is ahead of a wetter Friday. So in comes this area of low pressure. More rain for the western side of New Zealand, just a few spits getting over here into the east, and the warm northerly flow comes down, encouraging again more dry weather for Hawke's Bay. But it changes this weekend. Here's Saturday's setup. That low deepens further and it pushes rain into these drier eastern areas. So that's a welcome, it's welcome for many of the farmers who need the rain. So a burst of rain on Saturday with strong south to southeast winds. It'll feel wintry on Saturday in a number of areas, although the west coast, the sun comes back out. Same with Southland. Parts of Otago and also up around from Auckland northwards, you may well see an improvement. And by Sunday, that low's been pushed northwards. There's a southerly or southeasterly flow over the North Island. That means more rain for the eastern side, around Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, Waiata Upper, and as far south as perhaps Banks Peninsula and Canterbury. But everywhere else, a sunnier, drier wind flow. But it will certainly be a windy, colder Sunday in a number of places by the time we get to the end of the weekend. That is all from me. We'll update you again tomorrow with the very latest.